Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Dungeons, Dragons, and Space Shuttles. So, since last episode, it's been a while, actually. This is the second time starting this episode. A couple things that I've done. I've worked on some quests, which we'll get into that here in just a second. I also added some stairs, and went ahead and brought this treated wood all the way out. And then some stairs here. That was actually the first thing that I did since last episode. And then I did a bit of mining, and then I was like, okay, it's time that we get into the Mark of the Tower. And I actually started recording, and I started working through, and the changes to blood magic, it's not really, certain parts of it are more expensive. Overall, it's not more expensive. Blood magic was just turned into a grind fest, which is admittedly one of the things that I hate. So we're going to be automating that here soon because it was made, I mean, this really isn't expensive. For example, I mean, some of the plates are a little bit different. I mean, this one takes like Triberium and Gem of Sacrifice. But overall, it's not really more expensive per se. I mean, there's a couple little, basalt blocks, which those are common, but you get 2 per craft now. So, in ways, it's cheaper. I mean, that's just a bunch of sugar. But to make slates, it takes compressed stone. And this is what I don't like, is when stuff's made into compression for the sake of compression. So, like, for example, if you look at ethereal slates, this takes demonic slate block, which that's 4 demonic slates. And that is an imbued slate block. And then that's 4 imbued slates. And that's a reinforced slate block. And that's 4 reinforced slates. And then a blank slate block. And that's that. And then altogether, it's compressed stone. It's not more expensive. It's just a bit time consuming. And not even, well, yeah. Because to make, for example, an ethereal slate, you need 2,304 stone, smooth stone, to make it. And it's just like compression of mundane materials, which drives me insane. It's my same thing with like octuple compressed cobblestone. I hate that so much. I don't feel like it adds much. It just adds a whole nother layer of grind fest, basically. Which I did use up all of my reinforced slates that I had built up, and I actually had to make some more. One thing to note, I've got to change out some of these runes. Because whenever you change recipes in blood magic with like Mod Tweaker, you set the drain rate, and the drain rate has been kind of bumped up to where our current blood magic setup doesn't really support it. So basically I just need more sacrifice runes, less speed runes than what we've currently got. So I had to craft these. I had to be somewhat slower about crafting them. I couldn't just throw in like whole stacks in there. But it's not going to be a big change. I'm thinking maybe drop 4 speed runes like here and put sacrifice, and we'd be good somewhere close to that. But that is something that we're going to be automating here very, very soon. Now over here, you can see that I have actually set up for Mark of the Tower. I got the ritual all placed out because I had to make, we had about 60 ritual stones left, so I had to make another like 40. But I did get this all set up. But then I went to make the activation stone, and I went and killed a wither, and I was like, yeah, we got the wither star. I mean, the nether star was easy. Easier than last time, might I add, because we've got this new spiffy sentient armor. And, I was recording and everything, and it was like, oh, wait a second. Because I came upon the one thing that kind of gates you now within blood magic. You actually need the Archmage Blood Orb in order to craft. Well, there. In order to craft this, let me find it here. Right here. You have to have the Archmage Blood Orb to craft with the Nether Star to get your Awakened Activation Crystal. So, we're not going to be able to do that just yet. I haven't looked at these other ones. The Master is a block of Dragonstone. We could do that already. This one is Empowered Diamond Team. We could do that already. Apprentice is block of Mana Diamonds. And that's just a compressed diamond. Okay, so it's not really gated beyond this one right here, which the Archmage Blood Orb requires an Iridium Singularity. 80,000 LP, tier 5 to get the Archmage. So, we are going to tackle that here soon because it's not going to be that bad. I mean, Iridium on its own, it's not expensive, and Singularities are only 2,500 in this pack. Not terrible. So we will be automating before too long. The quantum compressor takes manual and platinum. Hyperlinking. Try 9. Okay, it's not that bad. This isn't really all that expensive. So we are going... Oh, basic wafer, which takes circuit fabricator, which seismum... That's Ezo, Triberium, and okay, that's not bad. Yeah, so we can definitely get into that here soon. To get the quantum compressor, and then the iridium singularities, we're going to have to get into iridium ingots. Here, we get iridium, molten inderium, steel, and pulverized aluminum whenever we do Majestic Dust. Which Majestic Dust is fairly cheap. All it is a combination of white magic dust, which is mana powder, illumination powder, beeswax, glowstone. Of course, you can also use magic wax or stardust to get 3. Okay, I think maybe we'll go for the magic wax route for now. I don't know, we'll see. I've still got to do some thinking on it, but it's not all that expensive. Evil dust, pulverized coal, glowstone, and blaze powder, that's super cheap. Or we can do obsidianite, which is obsidian and meteorite fluid. Not that bad. It is 1-to-1, but still not that bad. So that's another route that we could take, but that is something that we're going to get into before long. And then there's another way. Yeah, centrifugal separator, the pulverized mana infused metal. You can get the white magic dust. It's a low chance though. So, but anyways, we're going to get that stuff automated and start mass producing iridium here fairly soon, so we can get the Transcendent or the Archmage Blood Orb, and then delve into that. So, anyways. So I did that, and by the way, the setup that I have for Obsidian right now, this is a destructor from Refined Storage, since I ended up cutting all that footage, because it was basically just a big waste of time. And then if I take the lava sigil and I right-click there, it makes Obsidian. So we are going to automate Obsidian a bit better here soon, but that was just something kind of temporary, because I can make a couple hundred Obsidian in like 5 minutes, just sitting here and like watching something on YouTube. So... And then, let's see. Yeah, I did that, and yeah, everything else. The ritual stones are not expensive. They're just, like I said, they're just a grind. I mean, none of this stuff is terribly expensive, except for maybe the blood orbs. That was the main thing I noticed that was more expensive. Ritual diviner still like standard. Weak activation crystal still standard. But the ritual stones, they take a lava crystal. By the way, for the record, they don't consume the lava crystal. I made 12 of the things, and I was like, man, this is terrible because they don't stack. It does not consume the lava stone. So just a heads up. And then they take compressed cobblestone, compressed obsidian, and then reinforced slates for 4. So luckily I had the reinforced slates for most of them. I think I had to make like 8 without pre-made reinforced slates. So it really wasn't that bad. But and then in addition, I did do some new recipes. Like there's an induction smelter here that can make a few things that we're going to be using today. And then I also set up a factorizer. This is for making triberium blocks, which I haven't actually made any in this, but we're going to be today. And then I did a bunch of mining, since we're not going to be able to get the Mark of the Falling Tower right now. And then I also added tiberium ingots and triberium ingots and vanadium and stuff to this, and obsidian and blah, blah, blah. And then I also, I made some crafters and I did some quests. Okay. If we take a look here, I finally worked through this. I went out and got the herbs that we needed, and then it was pretty much just snowball right through the rest of this because, okay, we need the elixir of night vision, had to go get a mooncap mushroom. We're going to go ahead and take that stuff. And then this was probably, honestly, this is probably the strangest main quest I've ever went through. Elixir of Speed is wind thistle, common loot bag, copper coins, silver coins. Then there was a copper reinforced bow, and we get 2 random chickens, a common loot bag, 2 copper coins, silver coin. That's not changed. It's just copper ingot, sticks, and string. Arrows. We need some arrows, which we have like infinite from the skeleton farm, part of the blood magic setup. Then we needed mushrooms. So we get some mushrooms, some tin, some copper. And let me toss out all these loot bags and dump this stuff so we got some more inventory space. Oh, and you'll notice I connected our downstairs area. I just used an external storage and a network transmitter. So that is connected now. Okay, and then we had to make Toxic Mixture, which we get copper gear, gold gear, and silver coin. This will actually come in useful later. And then Liquid Poison, we get a poison cell, 8 arrows, 2 copper coins. Arrows of Poison, we get 4 arrows of poison, a basic control circuit, 2 copper coins, and a silver coin. And then the Brewing Stand. We get 3 elixirs of regen, 2 blaze lanterns, silver coin, gold coin, and a platinum coin. Okay. And that's that. Another thing I want to do just really quickly is, let's see, red alloy. Okay, I've got 58. I was making a bunch between episodes. How much redstone do I have left? 624. Okay. Let me go ahead and order another 6 of that and get that running before we start using it. And that way we can complete that red alloy quest, because if I recall, there's a pretty decent reward from that. So, but okay, so anyways, what we're going to be doing today, we're going to do a little bit of automation. We're going to continue on automating. Originally, I was planning on doing the auto farming setup. We're not going to do that this episode, because I was going to tie that in with the Ritual of the Falling Tower, and we can't do that yet, so I don't really want to make harvesters yet. We're going to be making them soon, but because I'm going to need multiples for the size of the farm that we've got, I'm going to wait just a little bit longer, which will tie into what we're going to be doing today. So anyways, what I want to do first is I want to run power over to our display stands, and I think what we're going to do for this is, see, I'm also going to have to run items. So I'm going to run the power, because these things are so cheap, these basic universal cables. And this, of course, will change, I promise. But we're just going to run this around. And these are just, all these are is steel and red alloy. By the way, let's see, it's 3,000, 2,000. Okay, so it's a little bit cheaper there. I was about to say, these are, well, you don't use the tools, of course, whenever you're using the Carpenter. But okay, so then we're going to run this across. Can this still open? Yeah, just in case. We're going to go ahead and plug that up so that these have power again. And that's part one of what we're going to need to do. And then we're going to need to get ourselves a chest. We're going to start with automating the Empower first, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. And then I also made up some transfer pipes and a couple more transfer nodes. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up our chest setting. We'll put the chest setting right here. We'll have the crafter setting right there. Then what we're going to do is, I guess we'll set up a transfer node. Oh, our 64 red alloy is done. So let's go ahead and grab that. Just thinking here. Okay, there's that. We get either 10 red alloy plates, 20 red alloy wire, or 8 blocks of redstone. I'm going to take the 8 blocks of redstone, actually, because that'll end up being a little bit more output. And I'll just throw that into there. Okay. So, yay. I'll tell you what we're going to do. The way this is going to be set up right now, it is possible that this could get backed up. Like I said, this will change. But I'm trying to make the most of my materials right now. Because if we were to order, like, multiple empowered blocks at one time or something like that, it is possible that it could send multiple of the same materials to the display stands. But I don't think it's going to affect us right now, because our factory is not at the point where we're really like just consuming lots and lots of empowered stuff at a time. So I think it's going to be a-okay. And all we're going to do for this is we're going to set a transfer node. We're going to put a transfer node here. We're going to put a I'm just going to go ahead and do 3 because it'd be kind of a little bit easier. I won't have to wrap over cables or anything like that. We're going to put 3 transfer nodes down, and then we're going to go ahead and run transfer pipes over, and then this one's going to handle these 2. This one is going to handle there and there, and then this one, we'll go ahead and just run this out. I'm going to break off these connections. I don't want these to connect. And then we're going to plug it into the Empower right there. And that should be good. And then what we're going to do is, let's take a look at the big ones that we needed right now was the Empowered Restonia and the Empowered Inori. So let's take a look at the Empowered Inori Crystal Block. This one is block of redstone, block of mana steel, inert blood iron ingot, and blood infused glowstone. Which, let's see, the blood... Let me grab some iron. And let me pop over to here real quick. And we'll get this stuff automated a bit more, because here soon we're going to move into a stage of automating blood magic and also starting into a bit of evilcraft and automating some of that, because we're going to need it. So we might as well go ahead and do it. There we go. There's our first blood infused glowstone. I'm going to go ahead and just switch out that. And we're going to dump in all this glowstone and let it start running. And we'll be back for that here in just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll pop over here, and I'm going to go ahead and use up all the blood that we've got. And I also need to make up some more mana steel. So we got 26 iron left. That'll be fine. And then we're going to pop over to here. This stuff we will get automated here soon enough. But for right now, oh, this will give me a good chance to maybe drain out all of that. Well, not all of it. There's still a bunch left. But okay, so let's pop back over to here. And I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and set up another crafter. And this one is going to just set, say, right there. This one's going to handle just recipes. And let me grab our wrench. Let's break that off. Okay, and I'm going to teach it a few recipes here. I'm going to teach it, not storage, pattern. And really quickly, let's teach it how to make blocks of redstone. And then I want to teach it a quick recipe here for mana steel blocks in the factorizer. So this recipe can go in the crafter. This one can go in the factorizer. Okay, I'm kind of just waiting on the glowstone at the moment. So let's see. Let's do a quick recipe here for blood infused glowstone. Whoops. It's going to be that. So there we go. That's how you make that. And then we're going to do a processing pattern for empowered Inori crystal block. So you take all 5 of these things and you're going to get an empowered Inori crystal block. And we'll go ahead and encode that. Now we're not done at the moment. That's going to go into this recipe right here. And then this will go into the crafter. But what we need to do is, what was the thing in the middle? Block of Inori. Okay. Which we're going to automate that in just a minute. So, Inori crystals. We'll go ahead and teach it a quick recipe here. Okay, that does take the empower. Oh. That you have to do like that. Okay. I'm not even going to bother with that. What we're going to do is we're going to teach it how to make an iron block. This will be an easier method. So there's that. And we'll just drop that into there. And then if we order ourselves, well, I've actually got 2. I'll just take those for right now. And this thing right here, super easy to automate, and we will do that here very, very soon. So, I think the worst part of it is that auto grab mod. That's the main thing you have to watch out for, and which I'm probably going to be taking that out of the pack because it doesn't really serve a whole lot of purpose, and it's actually quite frustrating. So we're probably going to be removing that here soon. And okay, I've already got a block of mana steel. Let me get a block of redstone. Is this glowstone really still going? Okay, I'll be back whenever this is done because that's all we're waiting for at the moment. Well, actually, while we're waiting, I guess we could go ahead and do the empowered Restonia. So, empowered Restonia crystal blocks. These are redstone, mana steel, inert blood iron, glowstone. It's actually the exact same thing all the way across the board, it looks like. You just change out... Is that true for all of these? Yes. Okay, empowered diamantine takes a block of terra steel. That's the first one that I've noticed it's different. This one is same. Same. I wonder if Emeritic. Yeah, it takes terra steel. Okay, so terra steel... and the glowstone, that's it. So this is actually going to be extremely easy to automate. I mean, really, I could do without these... well... Yeah, this may not ever even back up, honestly. We'll see. So all I need is Restonia crystal block. And let me go ahead and get like 2 blocks of redstone. And we'll go ahead and turn these into blocks of Restonia. And what we'll do is we'll set up all of our crafting recipes for the Atomic Reconstructor to be block versions instead of single versions, I think. And then we can just break them down, you know. I don't know, or we might do single versions too. I don't know, we'll see. Because you can also do like plates and gears that way too if you wanted to. So, alright, so what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and make a recipe just really, really quick for the Empowered Restonia. And there we go, there's that. So it's not really going to take any further setting up for this. I mean, this is actually super, super easy. In this transfer node, let me grab a couple filters really quick. Oh, there we go. There's 3 of those. And then in this one right here that's coming out from the center and going into the Empower itself, let me do this. We're going to say whitelist, match meta, match MBT. That's fine. We're going to do Restonia crystal block and a Inori crystal block that can go through this. And then we'll go ahead and just drop that right into there so it knows that what it can pull out. And then over here, we're going to add another filter. This one is going to say block of mana steel, block of redstone that can get pulled out. And we'll go ahead and drop that right into there. And then we just need the glowstone. And then we can order all the things. And let me go ahead and make one of these. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make one more filter. And this one is going to take inert blood iron and blood infused glowstone. And we'll go ahead and drop that into there. By the way, one thing I want to look at, since we're on the topic of the Empower, is the Empower used for anything aside from Empowered and canola stuff? I mean, I know you can do the plates and the gears in this pack, which is all pretty much the exact same recipe. As you can see, there's Terra Steel instead. But if you go with this, you're wasting redstone. You're also using bricks instead of glowstone. So I guess you could say in some ways it's cheaper, but really it's not because you're using 9 times the redstone. Not to mention the power difference is probably cheaper making a block. Oh, and then there's that star metal recipe. Okay, so not a whole lot of stuff. But we'll get into that stuff here very, very soon, though. Okay, so let's go ahead and just drop all this in there and all that. And I'll go ahead and drop in that. And then, oh yeah, we're going to need a way to pull this stuff out. So what we're going to do is we are going to grab a Inori and Restonia. And let's see, what does the importer take? Yeah, I've got just enough cables to make this work. So I'm going to make an importer. Let me get one of these. We're missing processor binding. And that's something I never automated. Okay, let me automate processor binding just really, really quick. And we're going to go with this recipe. And we're going to say OR dictionary. There we go. That's how you make 8 of those. We'll just drop it into this crafter. And then let me order one of these and one of... Am I out of nether quartz, really? Okay, I've got to pop into the nether real quick. Just to go gather up some nether quartz real quick. Luckily, I ran out of probably the easiest thing to go mine up. Another thing I actually should mine while I'm here, because I came here between episodes and I mined up a little bit of glowstone because we were like pretty much out. Part of that's my fault because, you know, I broke that thing when it was full of glowstone. Hey, gas tears. There's 2 of those. And we got a little bit of blood. But another thing I really need to mine up while I'm here, and I might mine up a little bit of it, is Triberium. This, or Tiberium, I mean. This stuff right here. Uh-oh. My luck ran out. Okay, we got 47 from that node, which isn't too bad. There's a little bit, looks like over here. Yeah, just 1 node. And this stuff's super common. So, I know it was brought up in the comments a while back that you can use a couple of the auto miners. to prevent this stuff from exploding, but it's actually not that big of a deal. This stuff's like a dime a dozen here. And with the new methods for making it even cheaper, like crafting it down, which we're going to be talking a little bit about this later today, because I've kind of started setting up something and we're going to be kind of processing this stuff a little bit differently than we have been, because there's actually an even easier method. Now that we're getting lots of machines, there's an even easier method for making Tiberium than previous. So, or technically it's Triberium, I guess. But okay, we got 2.5 stacks of Tiberium. I think that's probably good for right now. So I'm just going to head on. Actually, I forget I can teleport now, and it doesn't cost me anything. Okay, so anyways, I want the Destruction Core. Go ahead and make me one of those, and then I want the Importer. Okay, there is our Importer. Yay. And then we'll just stick this right there, and then I forgot I put those blocks up. So I want the Restonia crystal block and the Inori crystal blocks. And what we're going to do is, on this, we're going to say mode is blacklist. We're going to blacklist Inori crystal blocks. We're going to blacklist Restonia crystal blocks. And that's going to import the items whenever they're finished. So we'll just drop that into there. And then what we can do is we can order ourselves Empowered Restonia. And if we watch for just a second here, there goes the Glowstone. It's going to take a second because transfer nodes aren't the fastest. There's the Mana Steel. There's the Restonia. There's the Inert Blood. And it's so slow. We're going to be moving away from transfer nodes. It's just they're cheap right now. And there's the Redstone. And there we go. It's crafting. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead, now that that's ordered, and we'll go ahead and order an Empowered Inori crystal block. Which is probably going to craft up a couple things, I imagine. Okay, and it just finished crafting that one, and now it's sending the items for this other one, and there we go, it's crafting that. So if we take a look here, the Empowered Restonia, we have a crystal block in here. Awesome. If we take a look here, I can just craft this down. Okay, so we're going to make a couple quick recipes here. I'm out of patterns, really. Let me order 10 more of these. Which I imagine there's going to be quests for the empowered stuff. What we're going to do is, probably towards the end of the episode, we're going to knock this out. And then maybe between episodes, I'm going to get a squeezer, seed oil, and yeah, I'll probably stop right before we're about to finish the quest line so we can pop it together. But this stuff is all pretty much straightforward. And then once we get some automation stuff set up, we'll go through and just clean all this stuff up. And we'll probably clean that up here soon too. Because we'll probably go to the end before too long. But I'd like to get the Tier 2 main quest line open, because I think that's where we're working on stuff, actually. But it's just a matter of getting through all the rest of this stuff. Okay, so the empowered stuff, that is done. That's working wonderfully. And so what we're going to do, we're going to make a couple patterns here. We're going to teach it how to break down Empowered Restonia. And then we're going to teach it how to break down Empowered Inori. Okay, so there's those two recipes. And then we'll just drop these into the crafter. Okay, and then what we're going to look at, now that that's done, we're going to look at making ourselves our very first Carpenters. Yay. Okay, these are not that bad. Most of this stuff, I've actually prepped up the 30k coolant cells. We've actually got several mechanisms from exploring. Got the steel plates. I've got hardened glass automated. I've got the advanced control circuits made. Data storage, I've got, I think I made those up. No, but I made the 4 advanced control circuits. Okay, so what we're going to do, I need to teach it how to make plates. A couple plates. So, well, plates and gears. The Carpenter requires 8 empowered Inori plates and 2 empowered Restonian gears. So that's what I want to teach it right now. So we're going to teach it processing empowered Restonian. Can I not shift click that in? Oh wait, that wouldn't be processing, would it? And let's do that. And we're going to say As far as ingots go, I think I've got the most of lead. I can't make it out of lead. Can I make it out of silver? I cannot make it out of silver. Can I make it out of tin? Yes. Okay, so we're going to make that out of tin for right now. Long term, we will set up a gear press and make it that way. But for right now, that'll be fine. And then we're going to do processing. I want to make the Carpenter. And I'm going to need to make empowered Inori plates. So those right there in code. Drop that into there. We'll drop the compactor. I'm going to have to remove one of these for right now. So let's remove the... I'm going to pull out the paper for right now, because I actually don't use it that much, realistically. And I'll have to make another pulverizer crafter. So we'll do that soon enough. Okay, so I should be good to order the empowered Restonia gears. I'm going to order 2 of these. And then I want to order 2 crafts worth 16 empowered Inori plates. And that's probably going to send some items over. It is. And it's going to empower another block. And then it'll break it down. Okay, so while that's running, I need to get just a few more things together. I need to get the servo mechanisms, which we've actually got 2 of those. They're not that expensive to craft, though, if you have to craft them. We're also going to need that hardened glass, which... Didn't I order some of that, or did I not? Yeah, I did. It's crafting. Just takes a little while. My machines aren't super fast. We need to start moving towards upgrading from the hardened versions to like the Enderium versions soon enough. Then we need the advanced control circuits, and then we need the empowered Inori plates, which they're not totally done yet. And then we need the hardened glass. There's that. And I think that's everything, right? So if we pull up Carpenter... Yeah, that's everything. Okay, so before we craft that, what we're going to do, and this is going to be very important to us here shortly, we're going to set up a processing pattern. And we're going to say that if you send 2 hardened glass, 8 empowered Inori, and advanced control circuits, 8 steel plates, 1 motor, 1 servo mechanism, 1 empowered Restonia gear, 2 30k coolant cells, and a data storage circuit, you're going to get something. Okay, and for right now, we're just going to put like a placeholder, so we're going to say cobalt, bronze, Madoc, and we'll go ahead and encode that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and clear that. Now I'm just going to tuck that recipe away for right now. That's going to be important to us very, very soon, though. I promise. Okay, and our empowered plates are just about done. I want to craft 2 of these at once. Okay, so there's everything. Now if we pull up Carpenter, it is the moment of truth. Pow, there's 2 Carpenters. Yay. So those are done. We're going to be making a lot more of these in the near future. A whole lot more of these. Okay, so now that we've got that, I think the very first thing that I want to automate with the Carpenter is, I mean, I'd really like to get cables on one hand, because making 12 compared to making 10, and it taking only 500 silicon compared to 1,000, and it taking a whole lot less resources, that's kind of nice. Honestly, what I'm probably going to do here at first is maybe have a Carpenter that I'm using for manual use and one that we go ahead and automate. Because stuff like the cables and stuff wouldn't be bad. So what we're going to do, let's get the very first thing that I want to automate with our Carpenter is circuits. I hate making these so much, and we end up making so many of them. There's the recipe with electrotine. Of course, there's the crystalline, but we can't make this one just yet because it takes copper singularity. Before long, we will start getting into this. And I mean, the Majestic ingots, if I recall, they're not all that bad to craft, though. Majestium, which is Majestic Dust, which we've already talked about that. You just centrifugal separate it. So that's not too bad. We're going to get Majestic Dust going crazy, which is basically just magic, getting into magic. So that's something that we'll probably start looking at before too long, once we get our auto resources coming in, because copper singularities aren't that bad with proper setup. let's see, there's the Electrotine alloy, there's the Mana Steel, or there's platinum with electrosilicon, transistors, infused silicon. Oh yeah, and I'm probably going to need to set up transistors. But they're so much better now to make. Yeah, actually, we'll probably set up transistors and basic control circuits for now. Because the nice thing is the worst part at this point of making Carpenters is the circuits. The only thing is that's going to put me manually crafting these. Oh, we can actually use Terra Steel. That's something that we need to automate here soon. Because it's not all that expensive. Okay, well anyways, let's go ahead and... I was kind of zoning out, getting all excited there. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up a Carpenter. We're going to put this one setting right here. And I'm going to need a cable to connect this up or otherwise. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a crafter. This is all very, very temporary setup. We're going to put a crafter here. We're going to put our Carpenter setting right there. And then we're going to run some power over to that with just another one of these gold cables. These stylish gold cables that we've been using. What I'm probably going to do is just run this over the top of this. And we'll go ahead and break off that connection. And then we'll run it down to there. This will get cleaned up soon enough. Because now that we've got Carpenters, we can start making cables easier to make. And then once we get cables easier to make and a few varieties of cables, then we can just move everything and it's not going to be really expensive for us to do that. So, okay, so now we've got that plugged up. It's ready to go, basically. So all we need to do is set up a recipe. So we're going to teach it a quick recipe here for transistors. Because we don't want to have to make these anymore. Now I'm going to have to feed in super glue. And that's something, whenever we move it, we'll handle that a little bit better. But for right now, what we're going to do, and that, we're going to say that you get a lava sigil. Okay, and we'll go ahead and encode that. And then what we can do is drop that into there. And we're going to go ahead and say, we're going to go ahead and tell it what the recipe is real quick. So that is the recipe. Okay. And then we're going to need a fluid. In this case, we need, what is it for the transistors? The super glue, I think. We'll handle the fluids a little bit better, but for right now, everything's kind of a mess anyways. So let me pop, well, actually, let me see. Let me pop over here. Let me get one of our tanks real quick. We'll probably get into fluid storage. As soon as I get cables automated, we'll start moving into some fluid storage stuff. But for right now, I don't want to do that right this second. Just because it would be a lot faster if we don't worry about it right now. We're going to need to get ourselves a, let's see, I'll just get a fluid duct. And can I get a servo, please? Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to set up our tank like right here. And then what I'll probably do is do like Carpenters down through here that take super glue, and then ones above them that maybe take silicon. That's going to be the main two liquids that we're going to be using to automate first until we get the fluid system in place. So what we'll do is we'll set our fluid duct, and let me go ahead and break off that connection because I don't want that. And then we'll go ahead and attach our servo and ignore redstone. Okay, so that's going to start moving super glue into here. And there we go. Now it knows that it can make transistors. And so what I'm actually going to pull this recipe out. I don't know why I put it in there. Let's go ahead and dump in the materials for that. And if we give it just a second, it's going to start crafting. Yay. I'll tell you what, I'm probably... because I can always change up the recipe if I'm manually crafting something. Like the advanced circuits. So I think I'm going to go ahead and set both of these up. Alright, so there's our transistors. And then eventually, it's going to take a while. But eventually this is going to see it and it's going to pull it out. One thing I could do, because I think I've actually got more than I need down here for some of this stuff, because this stuff's not super important that it moves like super fast. because this stuff stays like backed up. Okay, I'm going to take 2 speed upgrades from this. And we'll just add these 2 speed upgrades to this retrieval node. That should speed it up a little bit. Because, see, it's only pulled out 3 of those transistors. Not a big deal, but we will speed that up soon. Or actually, we'll just change over conduits. Okay, so let's set up another crafter right here. And another carpenter right here. And then let's grab ourselves a cable and 1 more fluid duct. And 1 more transfer pipe. Okay, so cable goes there. Transfer pipe goes there. Fluid duct goes there. And there we go. It's building up super glue. And I'm going to have to go change this tank over here in just a minute, but that's not a problem. Okay, so we're going to set up 1 more recipe here, and this one is going to be for circuits. So if we take a look at the basic control circuit, I think for right now the recipe that we're going to go with probably going to be the Mana Steel. I feel like that one's still maybe a little bit steep for us. We could technically get Platinum. I know it was brought up. We could get it from this right here. You can get these. I know it was brought up in the comments. You can get it with the Industrial Grinder. And, you know, every time you grind nickel or osmium, you get a couple of these. We can do that. I'm not going to worry about that because it's actually not going to be a concern for us here very, very soon. Because technically, we could just craft this too. And just get crazy with processing, because it's actually not that expensive for us at the moment, but we're going to get into that soon. We're going to go with the Mana Steel for now. So to make this, it's 4 circuit plates, 2 transistors, silicon, and Mana Steel, because that's stuff that we've got easy access to. But I'm trying to focus more on the mechanism side of processing for the most part, just because we don't normally do it, because I'm not a big fan on mechanism performance-wise, so I tend to avoid it a bit more. But we're using it a bit more within this pack. So we're going to keep everything on the mechanism line for the time being. Or most of it on the mechanism line. A couple things that can't be processed to the mechanism line, but most things can. Let me get a little bit more of this super glue. And let's set up a recipe and say that if you do 4 circuit plates, 2 Mana Steel, silicon, transistor, and then you send them over to this guy. This is, oh, where did it go? No, Mana Steel was there. Transistor, there. Silicon, circuit plates. You're going to get 2 basic control circuits. That's going to start running. I actually think I've got those in here. Go ahead and set that to 2. And encode. And you know, I never set the recipe for the transistors. So you get 6 of those. There we go. Then we'll go ahead and drop that one to there. That one into there. And there we go. The last circuit plate was just pulled out. So yay! Okay, now I don't think that we have time for what I want to do next. The next thing that we are going to be doing is that recipe that I made earlier. We're going to be using that. We're going to start automating advanced crafting tables. Is our next step. So we'll start delving into that next episode. Before we end out this episode, though, I'm basically going to cut for a bit. Because I think I want to go ahead and unlock main quest line tier 2 today. Because I think we're right on the verge. Because I think this is probably going to end at the Energizer. Then we've got to do this. Let me grab these crystallized canola seeds. And right over here, I had this stuff going. The refined creosote. Let me just make a little hole in the ground here. And what we're going to do, let's take our crystallized canola seeds. We're going to toss those in. They change over. Okay, there we go. That quest is done. I'm hoping they don't make us go all the way with this. Because technically they haven't even made us make the Empowerer yet. Batteries, oh my gosh. Okay, so we get 2 crystallized oil cells, common loot bag, silver coin. And give me just a little bit. Because I need to make an Energizer. This right here, which is Inori plates, Restonia, electrosilicon, all that stuff. I need to make one of those. And I need to make a Squeezer. I think all this stuff's pretty straightforward to make, yeah. Especially now that we've got... That's kind of what I was waiting for, is getting the basic control circuits automated, because that's what we're using a lot of within these quests. So I'll be back whenever I get this stuff crafted up, and we're about to hit the next tier of quests. Okay, it is pretty well done. There is a couple quests here, the Innovator, the double batteries, the energy extractor, and the basic energy cube that kind of split off from that main quest line there, but we're not going to worry about those right now. So the Energizer, we get a simple PCB, uncommon loot bag, silver coin. The batteries, we get an advanced coil and a silver coin. The item laser relay, we get an advanced coil, 5 obsidian, and 2 silver coins. The fluid laser relay, we get 2 Restonia gears, 2 silicon plates, 2 silver coins. And then the energy laser relay, we get a rare loot bag, a Inori crystal block, and silver coin. And then there's a hardened upgrade kit. We get liquid crystalline, 3 Invar, and a silver coin. And something to note that I wanted to show you just really, really quick. If you take your energy laser relay, what we can do is we can just cycle these. So there's fluid. That's how I completed these, was I just crafted the item one, and then I just ran through and knocked these out. So we can do that. And then there's a quest here for the Squeezer. We get 3 baguettes, basic control circuit, uncommon loot bag, gold coin. And then the seed oil, which of course we've already got seed oil and cooking oil automated. So this part actually went a little bit quick. We got a seed oil cell, 2 melons, common loot bag, and silver coin. And then there's a quest for the first steel. We get 2 silicon slime block, common loot bag, and a silver coin from that. And this hardened upgrade kit, I'm actually going to go ahead and toss this onto the induction smelter. Speed that up a little bit. And then, whoops. And then there's a quest here for cooking oil. So we get a cooking oil cell, 3 gold, 4 empty cells, and a gold coin. Of course, we're using the fractionating steel from thermal, and not the steel from forestry. So we didn't actually use this method. And then lastly, there's a quest here for the metallurgic infuser. So let's go ahead. Nothing in there. Go ahead and grab that. There we go. Quest completed. And this will unlock tier 2. So we get 10 Inferium Essence, 2 photovoltaic cell 1s, 4 gold plates, legendary loot bag, and a gold coin. And we're just going to throw away that legendary loot bag. Okay, and then we have advanced circuits, enriched alloy, and then wherever onwards that goes. It says this chapter helps to capitalize on your development and engineering know-how and take your technology to the next level. So there's a pretty good chance that this is when we start getting into a lot of the stuff that we've actually been working on, which is, you know, refined storage, carpenters, and then we're going to start automating the, like I said, next episode we're going to automate advanced crafting tables, and our main goal next episode is going to be getting all that stuff to where it can be easily crafted, you know, making more carpenters, making more crafters just at the click of a button, instead of actually having to pull the resources out and dump them into an advanced crafting table. So we'll get into that next episode, as well as covering our new tribarium system that we're going to be using and all that. So, but with that, I think I'm going to end out this episode. I'm glad that we finally got this unlocked, because, you know, it's high time that we get that unlocked. And then the enriched alloy, of course, we've crafted most of this stuff. There's a pretty good chance, because I am going to be crafting some advanced circuits between episodes, there's a pretty good chance that we'll probably have a few of these quests knocked out at the start of the next episode, because it's probably going to be a lot of stuff that we've already done and we've already got sitting around. So because we've kind of worked ahead of the quests, because we were kind of held back by certain things like the alchemy and stuff, and of course we went with the thermal method instead of the forestry method, so we didn't get through this and so on. But yeah, we will, next episode we are going to be automating these and kind of rounding out a lot of our refined storage work, because then it'll be just more expanding and not so much new, adding these new sections, because like this helped a lot getting these carpenters, and we need to just expand on them now. And what we're going to be doing next episode will be a big thing, and then we'll just have to expand on that. So, Also, because I had a question on the last episode, and I actually forgot to mention it since last episode was 50, about the world upload. I don't generally do world uploads. 50 is just kind of a guesstimate. 25 episodes prior, it's a guesstimate of when we're going to do it. The next world upload will probably be next episode, because I don't like putting out world uploads when I'm right in the middle of a project. And this is, of course, a big project that we're working on. So one thing I do want to go ahead and mark off is the basic machine part automation, because we've technically started that. We started making circuits at the click of a button, and we basically just have to expand on it now. So, and then I think this we're going to start into very, very soon, the Stone Mega expansion. And then power is probably going to come up soon. One thing I do want to go ahead and add to this is Blood Magic automation, because we're going to be doing that very, very soon as well. Also, the Horse Purge is going to be coming up soon once I finish up those walls. So, and once I do a little bit of Evil Craft work as well. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.